Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I have a book haul for you and it is big. I've accumulated these books over probably the past 3 to 4 months and I keep putting off doing this haul until finally I've got to do it because the books are getting out of hand and I need to get them put away. So this is going to work a little bit different than maybe a normal book haul because for those of you who have been a part of my channel, or if you're new here, either way, you may or may not know that I happen to be almost totally blind, which means that I have to have assistants reading the titles of these books. So my husband James is here. He's off camera, but you will hear him as he gives me books. So you're saying, okay, Trisha, if you can't see these books, why do you have them? Great question. Couple of reasons. Number one, because I like to show them to you. Number two, because I like having them on my bookshelves. Number three, because I like being able to share them with friends or family or whoever, once I have read them, be able to pass them on. And four, teaser here, because I promised everyone a video on how I read. I do happen to have a way that I can read print books. So that video will be coming out in about a week. Stay tuned for that if you want to know more. What else did I want to say about this? Oh, yes. So normally what I do is I make myself a list of the books that I'm going to be showing, and then I stack them up in the order that I've listed them. But I've got stacks and stacks going on today. So James is here. He's helping out. I appreciate that. We're going to jump right in. These, I have them kind of like loosely categorized, but some of them are iffy and could go in multiple categories. So just know that they're kind of loosely categorized. But we're going to start. I have only a couple.
Let's start with your worst one. Let's start with the romance.
Start with the romance. James says we should start with romance because those are the worst. Okay, hand me both of those romance books.
No, I meant the ones you don't like them.
Oh, no, we'll start with the middle. Oh, we're going to start with these. Okay.
The Other Lady Vanishes.
Okay. The Other Lady Vanishes. All I know about this is, actually, I thought it was a mystery. It sounds like a mystery. And actually, it might kind of be. It's a second in a series, but there is romance in here. And it sounded kind of good, and it got decent ratings. And so I was like, I bought this on, I happened upon a Pango bookshop that was having major discounts. So I bought like a lot of books from this particular Pango shop. So if you like romance, maybe a little bit of romantic suspense, and Amanda Quick, maybe this one. I'm going to hand that to you.
Me before you.
I don't think this one needs a lot of explanation. This is Jojo Moyes. I've read some Jojo Moyes. I haven't read this one, which is surprising. I know there's a movie. I think there's a movie. This has been around for a while. By the way, I'm not going to say a lot about any of these because we have so many. This next one is kind of funny.
The Peacock Emporium.
Yes.
Jojo.
The Peacock by Jojo. The Peacock Emporium is funny because I bought this at a thrift store just a couple days ago, actually. It was with Me Before You. So I was like, okay, I'll grab both of them. The reason it's funny is because I am terrified of peacocks. Like, seriously terrified of them at the zoo. They're scary, you guys. Anybody who says they're not scary, I don't know what you're talking about, because peacocks are scary. But this is another Jojo Moyes romance. I think it will be good. I think this woman owns like a, I don't know if it's like a tea shop or what kind of shop, but something about her and owning this shop, and it kind of helps her heal from some stuff, I think. And of course, there's romance. So maybe this will help me get over my fear of peacocks, but like that's like a 0.1% chance. But I'm going to read it anyway, because why not?
Okay,
All right.
enough of that category.
We're enough of that category. Let me get these out of the way real quick.
You know what those are.
Let me get yeah, I do. I've got only a couple middle grades today, which is amazing because I tend to read a lot of middle grade. This is a series, middle grade, fantasy, Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. Okay, I'm almost embarrassed to admit that I have never read anything from either of these authors, and they're both super popular fantasy authors. So I'm excited to try this. Their middle grade series. We have the Iron Trial and Copper Gauntlet. And then I think it's only a trilogy. I hope it's only a trilogy because I only have these three. The Bronze Key. Obviously, this one has a different cover, but that's okay. So I'm looking forward to getting into that, seeing what that's about. Actually, as I record this, it's February 28th, so we're coming into middle grade March. All right, this has and so I might get to read those soon. This has a story to go with it. This is The Beast and the Bethany. I bought this off of Whatnot. If anybody knows Whatnot, it's an app that does like live auctions, and I bought this off of there. And I was busy doing something. I don't even remember what I was doing, and I said to James, "Here, take my phone." So when my book comes up, because I was watching a particular show where you could actually go to the website of this bookstore and look for books you were interested in and drop their titles in the chat, and they would go get them and bring them and sell them to you right there live. And that's what I had done with this book. I said, when my book comes up, I need you to go to bid on it for me because I was doing something. And he said, okay. So, of course, a bunch of people's books are coming up. And this one pops up, and he goes, oh, this one's yours. Like, not even knowing what book I had picked, or because I had said, I'll tell you when it's the right one. So he knew for some reason. I don't know what that says about my book taste, but this is the first in a series. It's about a guy who is chasing immortality, and he is immortal because he keeps feeding this beast that lives in his attic, which works out all fine and good until the day that the beast wants a child to eat. And so the guy finds the Bethany, who is like kind of like the naughtiest child you can imagine. But it becomes a problem when he kind of starts to enjoy the Bethany's company, I think, and doesn't want to feed her to the beast. So I don't know. I think it goes on from there. I think it's gonna be fun. It's I picked it because it's supposed to be for fans of people who enjoy Kelly Barnhill's books. She wrote The Girl Who Drank the Moon, and I love that book like so much. So that's that. All right, we're gonna move on to our next category. Go ahead and hand me that one. What is this?
We are now. YA.
Oh, YA. All right, so we're starting with YA. Here we are now. I know nothing about this book. Like, seriously nothing. I don't remember why I bought it. Oh, I think this is about a girl who, what do I want to say? Discovers who her father is and maybe goes to spend time with him and his family, kind of against her mother's wishes. Actually, I don't even know that her mom knows she's going. And what happens as an aftermath of that. But yeah, I think I got this at a library sale, so yeah.
Silver in the Mist.
Silver in the Mist. I'm not going to talk about this one because I'm actually going to unhaul it. I read some reviews and some things on Goodreads that make me think this book probably is not for me. So I'm not going to talk about it because you will see it in a future unhaul video, but it is YA fantasy.
Firekeeper's Daughter.
This is a big old book. And this is The Firekeeper's Daughter. I'm excited to read this. It's about a young girl who is a tribal member. Actually, I don't think she is a tribal member, but she is uh, at least half Native American, and she's dealing with a lot of family drama. And then she happens to, I think, witness a murder and goes undercover to help solve it or figure out what has happened, and all while dealing with high school things. Um, so it's YA mystery. It should be good. I'm excited for that.
If I stay.
What is it?
If I stay.
If I stay. So I have heard lots of good things about this book. I don't know if I'm going to love it, but it's about a girl who gets into a car accident and can't remember anything about the car accident, but does kind of remember her, like, herself being kind of pieced back together, kind of put back together. But when the ambulance comes, she remembers all that, but she doesn't remember the crash. I don't know if she's like in a coma and has to decide whether or not to wake up, but I know it's about like her thinking about the things that she's lost and the things that she has left, and making an important choice. I would guess the choice whether to remain alive or not. I don't know. We'll see.
Mary Lou, legend.
Another one I know nothing about except that I like this author, and I honestly don't know anything about this on purpose, because her books are kind of fun to go into without knowing anything. This gets good reviews. I've heard a lot of people talk about this and say it's good. I have not read it. This might be a standalone. Maybe, I hope, because the last thing I need is another series. But it is Marie Lu, young adult, fantasy-ish. Yeah.
Every Soul a Star.
Again, another YA book that gets good reviews. Actually, this one gets kind of more mixed reviews. I've read other things by this author and enjoyed them. It's YA romance. Not going to say a whole lot more about it until I read it. But I do like some of this author's other work, so I have high hopes for that.
An Ember in the Ashes.
Well, An Ember in the Ashes probably doesn't need a lot of introduction. I read like half of this at one point. And I don't know what happened, life. And so I never finished it. So I would like to finish it. I actually kind of bought this copy just to remind myself to finish it, because I don't have the rest of the series. I think it's a 4-book series. And then I think there is a newer, like, companion book that goes with this. But this is a YA fantasy about a girl who kind of gets caught up in an underground rebellion that's taking place, and of course teams up with the boy who is our male MC, our male main character, who is also in kind of an interesting spot because his mother is the leader of the school that trains like warriors and people who are gonna fight in this revolution, kind of, I think. And really, really highly recommended series by a lot of people, so I'm excited to get back to that.
Brightly Burning.
We still have a long way to go. This is another book that I bought from the library book sale that I don't know much about. I think this also might be the second in the series. No, maybe not. I don't remember. I don't know. But again, it's YA. I think it's mystery. So yeah.
The Knowing.
This book. This is The Knowing. It is the second book in the I don't know what the series is called. The first book is called The Forgetting, This is the Knowing by Sharon Cameron. I know Sharon Cameron through actually her historical fiction stuff, but we were at a book event, an author event, a couple of years ago in Kentucky, and we actually got to meet Sharon Cameron and talk with her. And I was telling her how much I enjoy her historical fiction stuff. And she had some of her older things there, and one of those things was this series, which is a YA fantasy series. I don't want to talk a lot about this one because it's the second in the series, but the first one is about a community of people in a walled city where every 12 years everybody forgets everything that that has gone on. They forget who they are, who they're related to, what they do for a living, all of those things, except one girl who doesn't. And it takes off from there, and it is so good. I've read the first one, so I'm excited to get to this one like really soon.
The Darkest Legacy.
Okay, this was a kind of an impulse thing at the library book sale. Again, this is the fourth book in the Darkest Minds series, which I'm not going to talk about too much because I haven't read the other books, nor do I own the other books in this series. So why I thought I needed the fourth one, I don't know. Now I have to go back and get the others so that I can have the whole series. But Alexandra Bracken writes really good YA fantasy kind of I don't even know if you call it fantasy, like political fantasy, mystery kind of things. That was totally descriptive. Obviously I haven't read this. Obviously I don't know very much about it, but I know a lot of people do, and I know it got really good reviews. I've liked other Alexandra Bracken stuff, so we'll try it. When I get there, I gotta read the other three first.
Turtles All the Way Down.
Again, one that probably doesn't need a lot of introduction. This is John Green. He writes YA, really kind of impactful stuff that has a lot to do with mental health and things like that, navigating those things. There's a mystery here. Our main character and her friend are trying to solve an old mystery that has a big reward attached to it. So again, we have navigating young adulthood while also trying to be a detective and dealing with some like mental health issues and friend issues and all of those things. Yeah, so I'm excited for that one.
Now we have historical fiction.
All right, new category. I have stacks and stacks. I gotta talk quicker. Okay.
1,000 Splendid Suns.
This is one I'm gonna unhaul too, so I'm not gonna talk a lot about it, only because I've read it. Read it and did enjoy it. Very not a fun book to read, I wouldn't say, but I'll talk more about that in a future unhaul video. I just don't need to keep it on my shelf, so I'm not gonna read it again. But yeah.
The Shadow of the Wind. The Shadow.
This one I forgot I bought. I bought it in that big Pango sale. And then when we were stacking these up, I got really excited when I remembered that I bought it. This is the first of the Cemetery of Forgotten Books series. It is about a young man who finds a book and is very impacted by this mysterious book and goes looking for other books by the same author and finds out that mysteriously the books from this author are being destroyed for reasons that are unknown to him and are unknown to us. But of course, he's going to figure that out. And there is some mystery. I think there are some fantastical elements here. I think there's a secret society kind of thing going on. Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks.
Oops, this is actually in the wrong category, but that's okay. This is nonfiction. Um, Probably, again, needs no introduction. Um, this is about Henrietta Lacks, whose cells were collected without her knowing it, without her family's knowing it, are still alive, actually, and were used in lots of different research for different vaccines and all kinds of different things. And this is her story and how that ended up happening, what's been done since, like what all of her cells have been used for. It's supposed to be really good, and I'm kind of interested to read it, so there we go.
Yours cheerfully.
This is book number 2 in the, what's her name? Emmy Blake, I think, series. It's World War II. She is a reporter, and it's about kind of what she gets up to in a world where there is war happens and women are now doing jobs that were traditionally not open to them because all of the men are fighting in the war, and so that's what she does, and does pretty well. And so yeah, this is the first book in the series was called Dear Mrs. Bird, and it was really good, and so I'm excited for this sequel.
The only woman in the room.
This is Marie Benedict. I will read anything that Marie Benedict writes. She writes historical fiction, normally based on a specific person, many times based on a specific or inspired by a specific woman. Specifically, wow, I said specific a lot of times. This is about Hedy Lamarr, who is a Hollywood actress. It's about her life before she became a Hollywood actress and after. She was in Nazi Germany, married, I believe, to a German, and kind of not taken very seriously. So she was able to learn lots of things about the Germans' plans during World War II and pass those along to the other side, to the I get them mixed up. The Allies?
The
Is that
Allied
the other side?
forces.
Thank you. And then she ends up in America, in Hollywood, becoming an actress. So I think this will be really good. Marie Benedict writes really, really good historical fiction that's easy to read and entertaining while still being pretty factual, I feel like.
The Lost Girls of Willowbrook.
The Lost Girls of Willowbrook is a book about, I think this is going to be another difficult one to read. It's about two sisters. One sister thinks that the other sister was killed in a car accident, until she learns that she wasn't, that she was actually sent to Willowbrook School, which is like a school for troubled, maybe mentally ill young women. And it eventually gets shut down, I think. But before that, or sometime in the midst of that, our main character goes there, kind of undercover, to find out what has become of her sister. I think this is YA historical fiction, so I think this will be good.
A Piece of the World.
Again, we have another pretty famous historical fiction author in Christina Baker Klein. She wrote the Orphan Train, is I think probably her most well-known thing. But in this book, we learn about the inspiration for a famous Andrew Wyatt painting called Christina's World, I think. And this is about the woman who inspired that painting. So again, a historical fiction novel about like an actual person and a painting.
Between Shades of Grey.
This is one I know nothing about, don't need to know nothing about. It's Ruta Sepetys. I will read anything she writes. Um, Historical fiction, I think pretty much everything she writes is historical fiction. Um, so yeah, that's all I can say about that because I literally know nothing about it. Don't need to know anything about it. Going to read it soon.
The book club for troublesome women.
This book I have seen around. Um, I have heard a lot that it is really good for like actual book clubs and stuff. I think it is about a group of housewives in like maybe the 1950s who get together and read kind of controversial books that make them think maybe being a housewife isn't all there is to life, and they start to kind of react to the literature that they are reading and maybe branch out a little bit, and how this is about how their community kind of deals with them wanting to be more than a housewife, maybe. Um, yeah, so we'll see.
Circling the Sun.
So this book is Circling the Sun by Paula McLean, who wrote The Paris Wife, which I have not read, but which does get good reviews. This is about a girl who ends up in Kenya, an English girl who ends up in Kenya, being raised by her father and some local tribes there. And it's kind of about her life. She becomes a horse racer, and does all kinds of other interesting things, I think. And it's basically about her life growing up very far from her English home, and her English family. So
These Tangled Threads.
These Tangled Threads. This is about. Oh, I'm missing another book too. It's okay. This is about a woman who is asked to design uh, some things for a wedding, which is taking place at the Biltmore Estate, in, is it North Carolina? North Carolina. In like the 1920s. And she needs to enlist the help of some friends that I believe she has not seen for a while. And there is some kind of secret that they all know surrounding the Biltmore, maybe? And I don't know. I think it's interesting that it's about a place you can actually go and visit and all of those things. So I think it'll be good. Yeah.
In the category.
Yeah, get that out of my way.
Fiction. The Bookshop at Water's End.
All right. So we're moving into, I'm calling it fiction. There's kind of a lot of different stuff in here. I hope you all can, I'm getting these on camera. This is Patty Callahan Henry. Again, somebody that I need to know very little about in order to read a book by her. But this is about a woman who returns to her hometown, or what? No, her town where she used to spend summers, until with a really good friend, until I think that friend's mother disappears, and now there's some things going on in the present, too, that she is dealing with, and it's going to be about that. Patty Callahan Henry is awesome. I will read anything that she writes, and that's all.
The Map of the World.
This is A Map of the World by Jane Hamilton. It's about a woman whose family owns a dairy farm. They're kind of from the city, and the community kind of thinks that maybe they don't exactly know what they're doing. So they're kind of, she's kind of feeling alone in this community, and she can't really decide whether she likes it that way or she wants to be more involved. But on this particular day, she is supposed to be minding the neighbor's children, and one of them ends up drowning in their pond. And this story is the aftermath of that, I believe, and how she deals with that, and the community deals with that, and everything else that goes along with that. So,
Garden of Small Beginnings.
this is about the Garden of Small Beginnings. Is about a woman who kind of starts a new life through gardening, and how that helps her heal from. I think it's her husband's. I think her husband dies and leaves her with small children, and as part of her job, she has to write about maybe or photograph this garden project, and she ends up kind of finding solace there and community there. So it's a chick lit kind of thing, I believe, and that will be good.
Still Alice.
All right. So in Still Alice, again, I have a couple books whose main character is Alice in this stack, which is kind of funny. But she's a psychologist until she has or some problems of her own, and gets her own diagnosis. And this is how she deals with that, and how her family deals with that. Somebody who knows all about this subject and then becomes kind of a part of it herself.
Let Me Go.
I don't even know how to describe this. This is Never Let Me Go. It probably doesn't need a lot of introduction. I've not read this. I keep meaning to, and then like putting it off because I don't know. I've heard mixed things about this, but I want to try it. It's about some people who are kind of looking back on their childhood and figuring out different things about how they were, what they were made for, what their purpose was. I know a little bit more actually about this than I want to because it has been spoiled for me, so I know kind of what's going on, but I don't think that you should know very much going into this. I don't think this is going to be an easy read, but I do think it will be interesting, so we'll try it.
The Language of Sycamores.
This is another one I'm not going to talk much about. This is The Language of Sycamores. I'm not going to talk much about it because I bought this because it sounded familiar. The title sounded familiar. And when I got it, I realized that the title sounded familiar because I have read this. And I did enjoy it, but I don't need to read it again. So this will be in an unhaul video coming soon. Stay tuned for that.
Ascension of Larks.
Alright, so this I believe is Christian fiction, maybe? About a woman who's a photographer, and somebody that she knows dies, I believe, and she steps in to take care of this person's children. And that kind of turns her world upside down. She is trying to figure out what she's going to do, whether she's going to raise this family or pursue her career. I know that her love life is a bit of a mess. So I think that's a bit of what it's about, and it should be good.
Miranda and Caliban.
We're getting there. Okay, we've got a couple retellings. This is Miranda and Caliban. This is a retelling of The Tempest by Shakespeare, focusing on Miranda the daughter and Caliban kind of the in The Tempest he is the servant, but I'm trying to think of the word. Misformed is what I'm thinking. He's the creature. He's kind of the monster in the Tempest. I don't know that he's so much of a monster in this book. And so this is kind of about this story from, I think, Miranda and Caliban's perspectives. I think probably this ending is very different than the actual Shakespeare ending, so it could be interesting.
Me.
Me. James says this is me. This is James. It's retelling of Huckleberry Finn, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Jim from that book. I have on my 26 books I want to read in 2026 both Huckleberry Finn and this book. This book gets really, really good reviews. I'm excited to read it. I think it's going to be good.
The Alchemist.
This is The Alchemist. This is kind of it's described, billed as a modern day classic. It's about a shepherd boy who goes to find treasure and ends up finding much more. It's about following your dreams and things like that. It's supposed to be a pretty impactful book again. So I'm excited to read this one. Actually, I thought I bought this book a long time ago at Goodwill, and it was called The Alchemist, and I got it home, and I found out that it was totally not this book. It was it was a middle grade kind of fantasy thing, which actually is on my list of things to maybe read also for middle grade March, but it was the totally wrong book. But that's okay.
Lost at Sea.
This is Lost at Sea. It's about a fisherman who gets lost and the way that the community comes together to find out what has happened to him. It's about small town secrets, all of those good things that I like in a book. And so, yeah, we'll try that one.
Mystery. We're into mysteries.
Oh, we're now in mysteries.
The last thing he told me.
The second one of these is now out. This is the last thing he told me. It is about a guy who disappears, and his wife and stepdaughter set out to try to figure out what has happened to him. They don't get along very well at the beginning. I'm assuming that will change as we go through the book. I don't know. But a good disappearance mystery. I seem to have a lot of people who disappeared books today. I don't know.
Unraveling.
This is another one I'm not going to talk much about, because I'm going to unhaul it. Now, this one, I'm going to unhaul maybe for a terrible reason, but it gets not very good ratings at all on Goodreads. I want to say a 3.1 or something. So yeah, too many books, too little time. I'll talk more about it when we unhaul.
Truffles and Tragedy.
We are getting there, guys. We are getting there. This is another book from that Pango book haul. This is Truffles and Tragedies. It's book 6 in its series. I think it's called Southern Cafe or something cafe. Cozy mystery. About a woman who is asked to speak in an online class, and for her cousin asks her to speak at this class, but then one of the cousin's colleagues, who's a professor, gets murdered. The cousin gets blamed, and our main character turned amateurs. You shush. He says same thing. Our main character turned amateur sleuth has to clear her cousin's name. So yeah, we'll see. But again, it's the middle of a series, so why I did that, I don't know. But that's okay. Normally, cozy mysteries you can kind of read out of order and be okay.
Dirt Creek.
Okay, this is a funny book. Not because it's humorous, but this book was on my book outlet wish list, and James bought it for me and gave it to me for Christmas. and was really excited that he had thought to buy books off my book outlet wish list. Only I didn't remember putting this on my wish list. So I opened it and I'm like, what is this? Why did you buy me this? And then I read what it was about and I was like, oh yeah, I put this on my wish list. So this is about a girl, another missing girl. A 12-year-old girl goes missing in Australia, and this is about the detective who comes in to solve that case. And again, it's another kind of small community, and then the detective trying to find this missing girl. So
The sentence is death.
this, I believe, is the second in a series. I also bought the first in the series, but I don't know where it is. So I gotta find it. But this is Anthony Horowitz, who writes really fun, a bunch of different series. This one I have not started yet, but I'm excited. The kind of like literary plays on words. The first one's called The Word is Murder. And then we have this one, and so I'm excited to get into that series sometime soon.
The woman in the window.
We're getting there, guys. We are getting there. This is The Woman in the Window. It's AJ Finn. It's about a woman who has, what's it called? Agoraphobia, who doesn't leave her house, but one day witnesses a crime from her window, and how that plays out. That's what it's about. This gets mixed reviews. We'll see. It's also pretty big, too. It's kind of chunky.
New category.
New category. Guys, we're getting there. We are really getting there.
James Harriet.
This is James Harriet. Again, I will read anything that James Harriet wrote.
Every living thing.
What? Oh, every living thing. Sorry. He was a veterinarian in Yorkshire in England. Wrote lots of books. I'm not like a huge animal lover. I don't dislike animals, but I'm not like a huge animal lover. But the way he writes is brilliant. And so, yeah, this is one I didn't have and I picked up at that library sale. There we go. And that is nonfiction. Is that it? We made it! That was the last one. I don't even know how many books was that. Count them. Can you count them?
You talk, I'll count.
I talk, you count. Okay, I talk, he counts. So, we made it through all of those. There will be, like I said, coming an unhaul video for a few of these, and then a lot of other things that I have on my shelves right now, because I need to make some room for all of this. So I hope that you all found something that looked interesting to you, and if you want to comment and let me know maybe what I should read, or maybe what you didn't like and I shouldn't read, or what you're interested in reading from the books I just got, that would be super. I would love to hear from you and keep in touch with you in that way. That was fun.
I believe 46.
He believes 46, and I know of at least 2 that I'm missing that I've got to go hunt down. But that was a lot of books. So thank you for sticking with us for this long, coming along on our book haul. Coming up, again, you'll see that unhaul video. You'll see a video on different ways that I read, which might explain why I own print books. And lots of other good content coming your way. So if you enjoyed this video and would like to like it and subscribe to my channel and do all those YouTube-ish things that help me grow, I would so much appreciate that. Again, comment down below. Let me know what you thought about today's haul. That would be great. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.